Will you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. Welcome to the Monday, November 18, 2024 meeting of the Westport Select Board. Under Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20F, this meeting is being recorded. I would like to just start with welcome comments from the chair. I want to acknowledge the election workers, the team that we had at the polls. We maintained 5 precincts, and I don't know how many poll workers, but it's a lot at each precinct. And we want to congratulate Kristen Stenson and all at the town clerk's office, the registrars of voters, the poll workers for making it successful. Many of you know 2 people at this table were on the ballot. There is a recount going on for the state representative position, so there's no final verdict yet. So we don't know yet the outcome of the state representative race that's going on. Any other comments on the election? All right, so our first, we have a fun one first. So we have a request from Deputy Chief Robert Ribello to award Officer Michael Chicca with the Community Service Award. Deputy Chief, you want to tell us what this is about?
Sure. So I have a prepared statement, but Michael Chicca, he goes to all of our.
Do you want to have him come forward?
Sure,
now?
please.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's okay. So he helps out with all our community events, and this is just a way to recognize all the work that he's done since he joined. So like I said, I have a statement. It is with great pleasure I bring forward to the Westport Select Board the nomination of Officer Michael Chicca for the Community Service Award. Field Training Officer Fernando Gonzalez submitted his nomination to the Westport Police Commendation Award Committee for review. FTO Gonzalez spoke very highly of the dedication and personal sacrifice Officer Chicca makes on a regular basis for the town of Westport. After review, a unanimous vote of the committee was forwarded to myself for final approval. This award is given to a member who acts to substantially improve police-community relations through contributions of time and effort when not involved in official police capacity. Officer Chicca has donated his own time on a regular basis at no cost to the town while participating in numerous events. Most of these events happen in Westport, but some of them have extended to neighboring communities. The drive Officer Chicca has to help the community is unparalleled. No other officer has participated in more community events than Officer Chicca has. He is a role model to his peers, and he embodies the definition of public servant. I am honored to present to you Officer Michael Chicca as the newest recipient of the Community Service Award.
Mr. Chicca, did you want to say anything? You don't have to.
Sure. I want to thank you guys, first of all, for taking the time out of the meeting today to present the award to me, to Deputy Chief Ribello and Chief Dunn for approving the nomination, the awards committee, and Officer Gonzalez for nominating me as well, to my wife back there for letting me do all this time with the community extra. Without her support, I wouldn't be able to give up what free time I have to the community. And as long as the community and members of the community keep having these great events, I plan to be there, and I know the Westport Police plans to be there. So to the Recreation Department and all the other people that run these great events in town, just keep them coming and we'll be there.
Great. Well, I know I joined the whole board in thanking you for the service that you've done. It's a pleasure to be here to honor you with this award tonight. All right. So I do have a pin for you. I think we want to do a photo. Our photographers over here. So this is the pin. You need to go on both sides, I think. It's been a while since we've posed for a photo, so. Where do you want us?
Anywhere but yourself. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Thank you. I'll let you go.
I also, while we hear, those of you may not be able to see the crowd that we have in the room, but we have quite a crowd here of police officers, Westport's finest. I hope somebody is out on the street keeping order. I'm going to take a couple of action items out, or the appointments out of order. The first one is on your agenda 3C. So 3C is a request from Police Chief Christopher Dunn to promote Sergeant Christopher Mello to the rank of lieutenant effective December 15, 2024. Welcome, Chief.
Good evening. Everybody's had a nice weekend?
Yeah, he asked me. I was asked by the chief to do it in this order. So.
Yes. Just to give a little historical perspective, traditionally, we've had staffed 2 lieutenants in our department. We're currently staffed at none, which means myself and Deputy Rebello are doing the responsibility of the lieutenants, deputy chief and chiefs. We've had a competitive testing process with 3 excellent candidates, which included a written examination, an oral board, performance evaluation, as well as others. Sergeant Mello was the top performer within that competitive testing process. Sergeant Mello has been with our department since 1998 as a reserve police officer, full-time police officer in 1999, was a school resource officer before being promoted as sergeant in 2012. He's a lifelong resident of Westport. He's here with his wife and his 2 children. So I'm respectfully requesting the board to vote and approve upon Sergeant Mello to be promoted to lieutenant effective December 15, 2024.
So moved. Second.
So we have a motion and a second to promote Chief Christopher Mello to the rank of lieutenant. Is there any discussion?
Sergeant Christopher Mello to the rank.
Sorry, Sergeant. Didn't mean
The
to.
chief job's already filled. I'm good.
Sorry.
Too many Christophers.
I misread it. Do you have any comments you'd like to make?
Mine, I have nothing as long as Officer Chick is. I'm just thankful for the board, thankful for the chief and the deputy chief for giving me this opportunity, and I'll just continue to try to represent the town well.
All right, thank you. All right, any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Aye, that's unanimous. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And then the next item on the agenda is a request from Chief Dunn to promote Field Officer Fernando Gonzalez to the rank of sergeant effective December 15, 2024.
So the reason why we took it in this order is because now we have an open sergeant vacancy. We've had several vacant police officer positions that we're able to fill, which allows us to fill the sergeant role. FTO Gonzalez, a field training officer is an important position within our department. They set the standards for how our officers should be trained. So FTO Gonzalez excels in that position. He's been a member of our department since 2016. Not only is he in the FTO, but he's also Officer Chicka's counterpart in the community outreach unit. He is a resident of Westport. He's married. He's here with his wife, his daughter, and his mother-in-law. So I respectfully request the board to promote FTO Gonzalez to the rank of sergeant effective December 15th, 2024.
So moved. Second.
The motion is second. Is there any discussion? Do you have any comment?
Not as big as,
Mike, kind everybody?
I just like, thank you to the chief, deputy chief, to the board for accepting it and my family. That's all.
Okay, thank you. All right, any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Aye, that's unanimous. Congratulations. So Chief, did you have anything else on the agenda?
So there's three things I'd like to bring up. We're working together with the fire department with the Thanksgiving food can drive. So if people can drop off canned goods to either the fire stations or the police station, we'll be donating to the food pantry.
Okay.
We're also working with the fire department for a clothing and toy drive for the women's shelter in Fall River. So if they can drop off clothing and toys, it's actually on our Facebook page what the items are seeking. And our community outreach team will be active in the month of December for various holiday events. So that's what we have going on.
Great, thank you. Thanks, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
All right, congratulations to everybody. We're going to give you a moment to leave. You're welcome to stay. This is your community. But we will give you a moment to leave. But please don't congregate in the hallway talking. Like, go downstairs. Thank you.
It was most of our already.
I know. Sad. You got to get to work.
Yep.
They actually listened a lot. Mostly people go out there and start talking. They. Okay, so now we're back to 3A. So 3A is a request from Matt Armendo, the Board of Health Director, to accept the resignation, or sorry, the retirement of Timothy Burns effective December 31st. I don't think we have anyone here for that.
There's nobody here, nope. We just wanted to get on the agenda, so at the next meeting, we can post the position.
Okay. What's the pleasure of the board?
Move we accept the retirement? Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous. Now we have D, a request from Michael Burris, the town planner, to appoint Dia Wheeler as assistant town planner effective January 2nd. You want to come forward?
We also have Jim Whiten from our planning board here.
Hello. You want to tell us what this is about?
So we posted this position about a month and a half ago. We received 8 applications for the position. I followed up with Dia's references, and they were all gave very high recommendations for her candidacy. We're looking forward to getting her started pretty soon here. As it says in my letter, her start date would be January 2nd. We have a number of different projects that I think she'll be pretty interested in helping us administer. So her background is in environmental planning. She has a master's degree in environmental planning as well as a bachelor's degree. And we have a beach management planning project ongoing for East Beach and Atlantic Avenue and Beach Avenue. So that'll be something that I think she can help out with. We also have a pilot project for our municipal vulnerability preparedness grant. There's an event for that on Saturday for the community to help us select what that project should be, so just quick plug. But yeah, so I think she'll be very helpful with implementing those different grant programs and then helping me out on the side with the development review. So we're excited to have her. She's going to be moving down from Medford, so not too far.
Okay, thank you. And the planning board is also recommending?
This would be contingent on the planning board
Okay.
recommending it tomorrow, just because when I got her, she has tentatively accepted the position, but just the way the meetings lined up, the planning board will do that tomorrow.
It's on our agenda tomorrow night, so.
Okay, thank you. Anybody have anything?
I'll move her subject to planning board approval.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I just wanted to talk about the MVP meeting on 23rd, which is Saturday. That's a free thing for families to come to. It's at the library from 11 to 2, and there should be some things for kids to do, as well as we hope to get the adults to help us decide which direction to take with this.
So we're a busy town, so Saturday, the 23rd, at the library from 11 to 2, there'll be some activities for kids, and decision about the municipal vulnerability plan.
Yeah.
You heard from the chief earlier, we want a toy drive and a women's fun drive.
Yeah, there'll be free food there. It's an open house style, so people can drop by and just spend 5 minutes, just vote on the project that they think would be the best fit for the town.
Okay, all right, thank you. Anything else?
Well, there's just one thing that I'd like to put out, since we're going to be on TV, is dead trees, and I spoke with you about that last week. A month ago, a dead tree totaled my car on River Road, and it's not like an act of God, because everybody knows it's dead and it's going to fall. It wasn't windy, it wasn't stormy, and I just would like to alert homeowners who have these dead trees that have partially been cut down by the utility company or by the town. If they're on their property, they may be liable, because it's negligence, not an act of God. And it almost killed us. So before somebody else gets it and gets killed, I think we ought to make some kind of effort to itemize where they are and to try to see if the highway department can cut some of them, or hire somebody to cut some of it, or alert the abutters that it's their tree, their problem, and they better do something about it.
So it's not on the agenda, so we can't discuss it tonight, but Jim, could you see if there's any, what our options are for what we might be able to do there?
Sure.
All right, thank you. So we'll talk about that at a future meeting.
Thank you.
Do we have a tree warden, or whose position?
I don't know, we're not prepared to talk about it tonight, so he'll find that
It's just
out.
a question to get on the next.
Yeah, I
agenda.
don't know. Do we? I don't know.
It's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it's been active.
So we'll put it on the next, the next agenda.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thanks. 3E, we have a request from Chris Leonard, the harbor master, to appoint Carl Tripp to the Harbor Advisory Board.
I'll move him, long-time resident.
Second.
I was like surprised he wasn't already on the board, actually. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye, that's unanimous. So the next item we have is a joint meeting with the Board of Assessors, if you guys want to come forward. And you guys can call them, I guess you probably have to call, are you already in a meeting, or do you need to call your meeting to order? You're already in, you already started the meeting, okay. So this is a joint meeting with the Board of Assessors to appoint Steve Maderos to the Board of Assessors. You might have already thought he was on the Board of Assessors, but but he had to resign.
I had to step down in order to collect my pension, so.
Oh,
Once I collected my pension, then I could be reappointed.
So he is now eligible, and now he is asking to be reappointed to the Board of Assessors.
Through
Go
the
ahead.
chair, nothing special we gotta do, we just gotta vote.
Just a majority vote of both boards. And it would be to fill the appointment to the end of, till April, when we'd have an election.
Just a straight-up voice vote, right?
Yes.
I'll move it.
second.
All right, so we're moving the appointment of Steve Maderos
I was
to,
up for election anyways.
Yeah, I just wondering when he stepped down.
I sent a letter in, what?
Yeah.
September?
yeah, we accepted the
Yeah,
resignation.
accepted
Did I have a
resignation.
meeting?
I sent it in maybe in September.
I don't have the date.
Me.
We did.
Sent it in.
Yeah, I remember.
All right, so, so the Select Board has a motion and a second to appoint Steve Maderos to the unexpired term of assessor. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous. How about your two people? All right, so that's a unanimous vote by the two remaining assessors. Welcome back, Steve.
There you go.
All right, and thank you. I know, so the Fire Chief Baldwin is here, so I'm going to move up his item also. So Chief Baldwin, do you want to come forward? We're gonna do 4D next. We got to get our paid employees back off to work.
How's everybody doing tonight?
We're doing well. So we have a request to approve the purchase agreement with the Firematic Supply Company for $268,250. You want to tell us what that's about?
Sure, that was thanks to the taxpayers who voted at the last town meeting to approve our capital request for a brush truck. To my knowledge, this will be the first actual brush truck that the fire department has ever designed, built, and purchased. We've made do with some other trucks and various types of fire apparatus that's out there. This is the first one that's classified as a brush truck. It's going to be an F550 chassis, 4x4 vehicle, plenty of ground clearance, which we don't have now. A skid unit. It's going to carry 400 gallons of water. We tried to maximize that. It's taken us a few months to come up with the design. We really wanted to design something that we felt would benefit the town. Realistically, you probably get 20 to 30 years out of this vehicle. So we wanted to make sure we were really coming up with the best design possible. Visited some fire stations, worked with 3 separate vendors, and at the end of the day, we went with Firematic. They have an excellent track record for customer service, attention to detail, and we're very happy with the decision and the spec that we came up with. It was myself, my deputy chief, Lieutenant Mike Texera, and Captain Green. And I just asked for your approval of the contract so we can get the build process going. It's looking like it could take a year, maybe less. They did note that things are really starting to speed up as far as production goes. It was out to a year and a half. They've already noticed a 4-month bump in the production time, so we're heading in the right track. We won't have it for this type of weather that we're dealing with now, but we certainly will for the future. So That is all.
So Jim, can you give us your recommendation on this?
I'd recommend approval. This was approved at the last town meeting from free cash to purchase this. Something they needed. They've been before the Capital Improvement Planning Committee and discussed it and gave the reasons why, and I'd recommend approval.
Yeah.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye, that's unanimous. Chief, I just wonder if there's anything you want to talk about. I know we're having fire weather alerts. Is there anything?
Yeah, tomorrow's gonna be another red flag warning day. Mainly that happens when it's gusty winds. They're predicting 30, 35 mile an hour winds, so they flag it as a red warning. But red warning or not, right now, as everybody knows, we're just dealing with some excessively dry conditions. And the primary concern is the leaves that are falling from the trees, gathering around sheds, buildings, structures, underneath your porch. A simple cigarette butt can destroy somebody's home. So we're really been vigilant on that. Investigating any complaints we've had. We've had quite a few, especially on the weekend. People are trying to clean up the yards, and we understand that, but now is not the time. It's not the right time anyway, even if it was raining. Burning season is by permit only from January 15th through May 1st, so we're out of the burning season. You can never burn leaves, even during burning season. That's against state law. So most of the residents have been very cooperative with that. We've had a few instances of burning trash and things like that, but most of the time, people simply didn't know that they couldn't do what they're doing, and they've been cooperative and understanding. Busy day today. I think they're up to 10 calls since 0800, several medicals and a few illegal burns, but we're on tap to probably do 3,400 runs again. So we're keep going.
Very busy.
And
All right, anything else for the public?
Hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry, Manny, go ahead.
Yeah, because I was just, on this brush truck, I mean, one of the solar facilities in Dartmouth, cutting the grass. They caught fire under the solar array, so it's something that the public needs to, even cutting grass, they can ignite these things when it's so dry.
Tiverton had a vehicle right on Halloween night parked on top of some leaves, and just the heat from the exhaust ignited the leaves, ignited a car fire up against the building. So it's not really what a lot of people would assume, but it really doesn't take much. So, and again, walk across your yard right now, the leaves they're just shattering under your feet. They're just bone dry. So Thursday will be a little bit of relief with the rain, but it's not gonna be the fix all. We need days of rain. So,
So nobody burn anything?
don't burn anything right now. No, not right now. So, but again, we thank the town and yourselves for the brush truck, and we're excited about it.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Chief. Thank you. Have a good night. Paula?
Okay, and just to reorient everybody where we are, we're now on 4A. So 4A is a request to approve the use of $35,000 local American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA funds for the 177 roundabout design. Did you want to talk about that, Jim?
Sure, this is the roundabout design at 177 Tickle Road and Robert Street. It's been under design for, I think almost 3 years now, which is fairly typical with these type projects going through the Mass DOT process. You go to 25, 50, 75, 100% design, then public hearings, meetings, goes through all their different agencies. It just takes a long time, but as it goes through those agencies, the agencies pick up different design criteria that they would like to see included. So they've included a shared use path on the north side of the roundabout, which will extend from the intersection, I want to say about 400 or 500 feet each way. They've included some sidewalks at the crossing to get from Robert Street to Tickle Road. These have added some additional work, required some additional wetlands delineation as far and wetland replication. And with that, the design costs have gone up a little bit. I'm waiting for the final numbers, but they've recommended, or they suggested that it would be about $35,000 additional design funds. Once this is designed, it'll be constructed using state and federal funds. There will not be local funding to construct it. Once these get designed and approved on the local transportation improvement plan, the state will take over the construction of the project. Right now, it's scheduled to go out to bid in 2026, but these typically get pushed back 6 months or a year as we get closer. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was 2027 before construction starts, but we just need some more money to finish up the design. Probably spent about $200,000 roughly on the design already, and these are typical for these type of projects.
And we'd have to use the local ARPA money because we don't have time to be under contract for the Bristol County ARPA, right?
Yes, in the Bristol County, we've obligated, or we've designated that funding right now.
Okay. All right, any questions on this?
No, I'll move it.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second to approve $35,000 for the 177 roundabout design. I have to just say personally that I was like skeptical about the whole roundabout thing. I thought like roundabouts are crazy, but I regularly commute on 118 and cross 44, and they've just put in a roundabout there, and it's beautiful. Like, it's still under a bunch of construction, but it's great. You don't have to wait anymore. It does a fabulous job, so I'm like a fan of roundabouts. All right, any further discussion? Yeah.
Jim, so the original design, we had gotten money from the state for that too, didn't we?
Yeah, we had received a $150,000 earmark from Senator Rodericks to start it, and then he increased that earmark in one of the following years.
So these changes going up, is all that stuff gonna be in the roadway layout, or we gotta do some
We
land
will need to
takings?
do some takings. There may be definitely some easement takings, and there'll be some temporary easement takings as well during construction. As far as land takings, I don't think there's any land takings that, I will double check, but last I looked, there weren't any. But they've made some recent changes, and I'd like to confirm that before.
Just because, you know, like you said, these funds are very competitive, and I noticed in the paper the other day that Swansea, Mass Highways recommending to Somerset rather, that Lees River Ave have a roundabout, so we might have more competition if we just get our ducks in a row.
Yep.
Maybe we're further along, and that'll help.
We'll fight it.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor? Aye, that's unanimous. So now we have B, request from Richard Correa, owner of East Coast RV, 131 Old Bedford Road, to add Sean Correa as contact manager to the repair license. We did receive positive input from the police department on that. Do you have a recommendation?
Recommend approval.
So move.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous. C, we have a request from Chris Gonzalez, the highway surveyor, to accept the Chapter 90 work by Pawtucket Hot Mix Asphalt, Inc., 25 Concord Street, Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Do you want to tell us what that is?
Yeah, so this is the road work that was recently done last couple of months. Main Road, mostly Main Road, Drift Road to Hicks Bridge, Cemetery to Adamsville, and intersection, Main Road, Adamsville to 646 Main Road, Benjamin Tripp Road to the old high school, Drift Road down near Hotel Hill, and then Hotel Hill, Drift Road to Main Road. And it also included the town road here between Town Hall and the old police station. That work's been done, and this will just start the one-year guarantee period if we accept that. Highway Department is recommending acceptance.
I'll move it.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Madam Chair.
Yep.
Does the second handout go with this award scope document with the list on it, some of which you just cited?
Yes.
It says 24, so this is not a prospective list.
No, this is, that's correct. This is work that was done
Yeah.
this year. So once the work's completed, the town accepts it, and then the one-year warranty starts.
Where's the dead end on Main Road that we're talking about here?
That is right over here on the side.
Oh, it's
Went
not-
from the
not
main
down.
road to the gas pumps.
Not down in my neck of the woods?
No.
Okay, understood.
All right, any further discussion? We had a motion, right? Yeah. All in favor? Aye, that's unanimous. E, we have a request for permission to decorate the front of the town hall for the holidays. Mr. Woolett, you put this on the agenda.
Yeah, I just need, we've done this before, and last year it was looking pretty drab out front, so just looking to add some lights and maybe some plantings and whatnot, poinsettias or whatever. Nothing religious or whatnot, because then it opens up to everybody that they can put what they want religious-wise. So just to spruce up the front a little bit, maybe the annex too, but at least in front of Town Hall. You can see Silas Brown is already done. You know, it used to be a little walking area, people could do shopping and buy local. So I'd like to try to get that back to snuff.
Okay, so you're not looking for funding or anything, you're just.
No,
want
we
permission.
need permission because it's town property.
So permission to put in basically secular
Yeah,
decorations?
when I sent out the email, a couple of town workers volunteered, and we might get the Boy Scouts again.
Okay. All right, any discussion on that?
I'll move it. Good.
So he's moving approval for that. Do we have a second?
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous. So the next item we have is a request to approve amendments to the Offshore Wind Advisory Charter. So the Offshore Wind Advisory Committee met last week, and we organized the board. Jake McGuigan is the chair, Rick Smith is the vice chair, and Christopher Thrasher is the clerk. We went through the charter that this group had approved for the committee and made some amendments. So I had Paula put in your packet one that showed the markup and then one that was accepted. I don't think there's anything really substantially different on it. I think it was just clarifying a few things. We did add the official deliberations, we added the Commonwealth, because it had the town and wind companies, and they added the Commonwealth, but the rest of it, I don't think was substantial.
Clarification, it was not in our packet.
It's in the packet in the file.
No. It was in the Offshore Wind Committee packet.
No, this is in 4F on the file. It was posted on November 15th.
Yeah, but the actual amendments weren't in.
Yeah, no, there were two, there's two in the folder. I mean, we can pause if you'd like, but 4F is the folder.
Yeah, then I'll just move the table until the next meeting, because I did not see it. Thank you.
That's fine. So for your reference, it's in 4F is in the
Right.
folder, and then there's two versions of it
Yeah,
in there.
I did see the two versions.
All right, so we have a motion to table this topic until the next meeting. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so we will table that. We have G, a request from Beverly Bish, the Council on Aging Director, to post the maintenance specialist position. Do you want to tell us about this?
Yeah, so we just filled this position about a month ago, and the applicant resigned. I'd like to post it again and get it back out there and see if we can fill it again.
Okay.
I'd recommend approval.
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous. We have a request from the Beach Committee to approve the contract with Southeast Fence Co., Inc. for Cherry and Webb beach fence replacement. Can you tell us about this one?
So this would be the fence between the path that goes from the parking lot down to the beach, the east side of the path, I guess, abutting the private property. The fence is in pretty poor condition. The neighbors have expressed concerns over it over the last year or two. It did go out for bid. The low bidder was Southeast Fence, and I'd recommend approval so they can get started on it.
I'll move it.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous. We have a request from the Westport Grange, 931 Main Road, to install a crosswalk. We received materials, this is between the Grange and just directly across the street. They frequently use that for overflow parking for the Grange events. The police department and the highway department are both recommending that we have a traffic study on the area before we approve anything. Is that correct, Jim?
Yes, it's a mid-block crossing, which isn't preferable, but sometimes that's all you can do in some of these situations. And it's on the east side of Adamsville Road, so people coming down Adamsville Road, turning onto Main Street, heading south, sometimes come at a fairly decent speed, and they just want to make sure that it's safe before they put it in.
So what's your recommendation?
I can get prices on a traffic study, what would be needed, and come back to the board if that's,
See with Serpent too, we have ours. We have
yeah, I
selectmen
could check with
ours.
both.
Yeah, I don't think planning used ours this year.
Okay, so
Look into it.
unless somebody wants to move approving this, I think that's the right way to go to get more information on what a traffic study would cost. Yes.
Madam Chair, I'd like to point out that this request was almost simultaneous with the St. John the Baptist Church, because they have a religious education center almost opposite the Grange.
Yeah.
So I would just want to make sure that the traffic study includes their needs. I think that they're probably the same as the Grange anyway, but there might be an argument to move it a little bit further south, I think. But that has to all work for everybody. But it's not just the Grange who is requesting this. I wanted to make that a point.
Thank you. Okay, so I don't think we need to take any action unless somebody wants to take action. Okay. Thank you, Jim. And then we have review and approve meeting dates for 2025. So I don't know, Do you want to explain what the difference is between these two calendars?
The
Does
trick
Jim
wasn't
want to
to see if
explain
we'll
what the
learn.
difference is?
Defer to Paul.
I didn't really notice a difference between 1 and 2.
There is.
In August are different dates. I think that was the only difference.
Well, so I call this, I mean,
Yeah, go ahead.
I call it the hiatus, where we
July
have,
and August.
we have 2 weeks off, well, 3 weeks off instead of 2. So as I studied this, which took some time, I think you were putting us to the test, it has to do with when that occurs. And option 1 has one spot with it, it's June, actually. And it would be, we would not be meeting the 23rd of June, nor the 30th, and obviously not July 7th. So that's the 3 weeks, and come back on July 14th. And then the other one seems, and correct me if I'm wrong, those would be in their original sequence. And then the break is really, it looks to be like from the 18th of August until September 8th. So that's 3 weeks. So it's a question of where the 3 weeks will fall. It looks to me like the rest of the calendar, both before and after those dates, is pretty much the same.
Thank you for sussing that out for us. So, does it matter from an end of the fiscal year perspective if we wait until the 4th? I don't think it matters. There's nothing substantial that would matter, I don't think. Is there? Because it's the end of June. You'd go from June 16 to July 14, or you'd meet in July 7 and then skip over Labor Day. Either one of these calendars is avoiding the Monday holidays. Nice job avoiding Monday holidays. So what's the pleasure of the board?
Madam Chair, if I may, the hiatus, so-called, from June 16th to July 14th is particularly long, because there are 3 dates which are skipped, the 23rd, the 30th, and the 7th of July. To me, that's probably too long, but then again, if the fiscal year has ended, there may not be any need to meet. Whereas the other one, the other option, is really only a 3-week pause. So I'm not really liking the 4-week pause, but you know, we always have the option of meeting, a special meeting if need be.
All right, I mean, you can, go ahead, Craig.
Madam Chair.
Yeah.
The June is right after the town meeting, and there is some, or shortly after the town meeting, there's usually some business that we put on our agenda based upon actions taken at the town meeting.
Well, both calendars have us meeting June 2nd and June 16. May 12th, June 2nd and June 16 on both calendars.
Okay,
So like you said, the difference is,
4 weeks.
the difference is is a 4-week break between the 16th of June and the 7th of July, no.
So,
The 16th of June and the 14th of July
that's the
is a pretty long break, that's what you're
Yeah.
saying. So, Jim, did you?
but yeah, I think you get 1 4-week break between June and July on number 1, and you get 2 3-week breaks on number 2. 1 June, July, and then 1 the end of August to September.
Oh, right, okay.
That's right, there's
Yeah.
2 3-week breaks.
So you get 1 4 or 2 3s.
I would suggest that if the, go with the one with July 7th, because we always have somebody that didn't get appointed or whatnot. We usually have something that carries over.
So that would be option 2. So you're going to move option 2?
Well, whatever you guys decide, but you also probably have a short meeting because you have to have the agenda in so much further in advance. So it would probably be a fairly quick meeting, but
Yeah, but it's.
we're always waiting for somebody that,
So Dick, did you want to move the second option 2?
Yes, I will move option 2 as the preferred option.
Okay.
Second.
All right, so we have a motion and a second to the calendar option 2. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous. We do not have anything under discussion. Do we have the town administrator report?
We do. Just a couple of items. The Route 6 Macumber School Water Loop Extension, I just want to reiterate that This is being funded through grants. Nobody is required to tie in, and there are no specific town funds that are being used to construct it. We did send out notice last week. We were hoping to start this week, at least mobilizing, but due to some scheduling conflicts and some permitting issues, it's probably going to be the beginning in December before they get out there and start. We're looking for an area where they can store material. They're meeting with the Highway Department tomorrow to see if that would be acceptable. I think they've looked at some other options as well. We're still working with Mass DOT on the highway permit, the access permit. So any work you do on Route 6, you need a permit from Mass Highway. And they've now requested directional boring or drilling under the Bread and Cheese Brook, which is, I think they were going to do it anyway, but it wasn't part of the contract. It was going to be their preference. But now we have to get it designed and go through the Mass Highway project. So that process, which could take a couple of weeks. We've also filed a request with Mass DOT to allow us to work over the winter. We're waiting to hear back from them on that. They would start work on Gifford Road and Osborne Street in the meantime. That does not need Mass DOT approval. They're meeting Wednesday night with the Infrastructure Oversight Committee and tomorrow.
Yeah, it's after your long-term building committee meeting.
No, it's
Wednesday.
So it is Wednesday? Okay, I'm sorry.
Wednesday, yeah. So they'll be looking at some different options and reviewing some of the work that's in the plans.
Yeah.
Fiscal year '26 budget, all departments have submitted their budgets. I've had.
I just want to stop. Does anybody have any questions on the water loop?
We should post that meeting on long-term building committee. We have 3 members of the board on it.
How many people are on the long-term building committee?
Manny is.
Two, we have two.
I'm on
Too late to
infrastructure.
post.
It's too late to post, but I don't think you have a quorum here of the long-term building committee. Or do you?
No, I'm talking about for the meeting itself.
Okay.
You have a quorum of the select
We
board.
posted, long-term didn't
I
post.
raised this a couple of meetings ago.
I'm just confused.
The
So,
long-
can you explain that again, why we need to post?
You have 3 members of this committee sitting on the long-term building committee, because 2 of us represent other committees. I'm representing the select board. Manny, I think you're representing the planning board?
I think so.
Yeah,
And who's the third?
Steve, you know?
Are you on
I'm
the long-term?
infrastructure. No, I'm on infrastructure.
He's not on the long-term.
Oh,
Okay, my confusion.
So it's Wednesday, okay. Somebody-
But and then the infrastructure oversight committee,
Right after it.
the 2 of you were on it, but that's not a
I'm
quorum.
not on that one.
Okay. All right. Did I answer your question?
I thought you were correct when you said that. There were 3 on there.
Okay,
No. Okay. But you're right. If we had a quorum of another committee, you'd have to do that, but,
right.
okay. Okay, anything else on the Macklemore Loop here before we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jim, you might want to, on that directional boring, and with the state, you might want to look into it. They can probably do it just as a means and methods versus having a design for the directional boring, especially since they were planning on doing that anyway. So they just have to submit their means and methods to the shop.
Okay, I'll follow up with the engineer.
Thank you. Anything else? Okay. Now the budget.
Budget, so all the departments have submitted their budgets for FY '26. I have reviewed all the budgets with the departments over the last couple of weeks, kind of making some adjustments. That'll be done over the next week or 2, and I'll meet back with the departments beginning in December. We're probably looking at, I'd estimate somewhere around $1 million, maybe up to $1.2 million of revenue that would be split between the town and the schools for considered new revenue for their budgets, which again will be difficult with, we used free cash last year to balance the budget, so we're gonna have to compensate for that. But I think it's gonna be a little more difficult than the last couple of years, but we're in a similar position. We will have a budget to the select board in December. And just keep in mind that we're still waiting for state numbers, which come in January with the governor's budget. And we'd have the Chapter 70 number, the school choice, and the charter school. Those are the 3 big ones that we're waiting for. So in January, we'll have a better idea as to where things stand. The old high school municipal building feasibility study, we've gotten 2 consultants that have applied to do that feasibility study. The long-term building committee will be interviewing both those architectural firms on Wednesday, and hopefully coming up with a recommendation for the board to consider hiring one of them. The energy aggregation program, I didn't realize this, but I met with Good Energy representatives last week. They said that there's been over $10 million in savings here in Westport since this program's been started. If you look at, they supplied a couple of graphs, a couple of charts, and you can see the line, the yellow line is what we've been paying if you're part of that program over the years. And consistently, with the exception of maybe 9 months over the last 8 or 9 years, through that program, residents have been paying less, sometimes significantly less than what they'd be paying if they were not part of that program. They will be going out, they're looking to formalize another contract. They figure the conditions are favorable to do a 3-year contract that they'll be looking to sign up in the spring, and that'll take effect next December or January of 26. So it's a good program. If residents haven't signed up yet, it's something they should at least consider. And what it is we're involved with, I think, 20 other communities, and we purchase our electricity as one large group, and therefore we get a reduced rate. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you. We have minutes. I'm going to ask that we do them separately. So the minutes of October 28, 2024.
Reviewed and move approval?
Second.
I'm going to abstain from this because I was absent. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
That's 4 in favor, 1 abstain. Then the November 4, 2024.
Reviewed, move approval?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous. Report on the bill warrant.
Pretty much a routine matter, $2.3 million. Everything checked out. The only thing we noticed, I think Paula may have corrected this, I put the wrong date on it. Can you imagine that?
Oh, my gosh.
But it was 11/13, not
I had to make it
10/13.
October.
Well, anyway, if I need to correct that officially, I'll do it. But, no, everything went well and everything was on time and correct.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the next item is liaison committee reports, a suggestion for future agenda items. Let me start, Manny.
Just had that comment before with the planning board. Get that on the next agenda, so pretty much.
About the trees, yeah. Okay. Steve?
No, we had our first meeting in person at Serped. It was more or less because some of the members retired, but since COVID, it's the first time we all got together, so that was interesting, and we networked and whatnot, so I think that was the only excitement we had, I had, well, in between, besides the election.
All right, thank you. So we had the offshore wind committee last week, I mentioned earlier. There's a school building committee meeting on Thursday. So I'll attend that and let you know.
A lot of meetings this week.
There was a council on aging meeting. I was out of town, but I checked in and they didn't have anything that significant to report to us, and they're still working on their strategic plan. There will be a meeting this Thursday for the first time in a while at the CIPC, Capital Improvements Planning Committee. So we've got a whole list of items, and we will make sure we review those in the context of the long-term capital improvement list. And there are millions of dollars there, and this is going to require some real thought because we don't have the money to do all these things, but we'll figure something out. So that's Thursday. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
Affordable Housing Trust, we haven't met since our last meeting. We're meeting on Wednesday. And then we've scheduled the organizational meeting of the opioid settlement committee for, I think it's December 10th.
December 10th.
And after that time, hopefully we'll have an organizational meeting. We'll have, fine tune our charge and our offices.
Okay, great, thank you.
Can I just make a suggestion?
Yes.
Jim, if we're gonna keep it up like that, maybe if we get the open committees at the end, we can keep up, so maybe people.
Yeah, can do that.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have any comments or statements from the public?
Evan, you're up.
Seeing none?
There's a chance.
We have plenty of boards and committees that could use your help, so even if it doesn't look like there's one open on the town website, please talk to somebody. I know there's lots of people who would welcome you and your expertise and advice. I don't know of anything unanticipated. Do you know? Is there anything else we need to talk?
Nope.
All right. All right, I think, so remember as the police chief said, we have donations going on at the police and fire stations for food pantry and I think it was the women's shelter.
Yeah.
And then the municipal vulnerability meeting on Saturday at the library.
And please don't do any fires. 'cause
And
a lot
please
of big
don't
fires.
burn anything.
Yes.
Don't burn anything outside. It's very dangerous.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous.